not being able to play with the same roster across online leagues. That's pretty, you know, hilarious as is. But at the end of the day, for uFrag, one thing that always has been apparent, what can they actually do when they're in the server? If they can get themselves going, then we can look at potential for them to string rounds together.
So are you going to say 1-1, 2-1, 2-0, sorry? What are you saying?
I'm going to have to go with 2-0 for CAZ.
Okay, you built that all up for uFrag. You're like, yeah, they could do it. They could really, you know, if they build themselves up. No,
it's literally like sitting on a swing ride. You know, you're either going to have this really awesome swing ride and it's going to be amazing and you're going to love it and you're going to be super chill, or you're just going to tumble over and fall and hurt yourself.
That's looking very likely. Although they do pick up the knife round, so that's something positive at least for them. Sadly, though, it is on a map where it literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, I feel like that on Dust 2, that's basically like, you know, there's a pack of straws out in the studio. You just kind of grab one and clutched at it.
Yeah, doesn't change anything. You're going to get to pick your side, but on such an equal map, in fact, the most equal map in the map pool currently, I think you could argue, it's not going to be too damaging, at least for the motivation of CAZ. But we're going to kick it off with this first map. Obviously, this is CAZ's map pick, Dust 2. Second one will be uFrag's on Cobble, and taking it into the pistol, we're going to see uFrag actually staying with that T side.
I think uFrag on the T side is probably a smart call. They're a very aggressive team, but also very calculated. So a solid mix between the two could be what can get them the early start. Of course, the pistol round going to be hugely important in terms of momentum, as already we are seeing the aggression coming from CAZ, something they are just trademarked to their team as MCK. He taps on away a crisp second shot. Now looking for even a tertiary. Aussie, there to be a bit more of a supporting factor. But it's all but sublime. They get away practically unscathed.
Yeah, uFrag not being able to get really much out with those Glocks there, not known to be the most long-range weapons, and they will fall 2 players straight off the bat now. So having to fight at a 2-man deficit, they use their last utility towards the middle area to try and cross up towards B, and Pommy will actually get one for his troubles. He takes down Dreamy as they split into this B site. The tunnels control coming out from Hype as well as he brings the bomb to join, and they're actually going to get 2 kills here. So that's now going to put it back into a 3-on-3 as the bomb makes its way towards the site. But unluckily for them, CAZ, they're right on the exit of the doors. But as I say that, Pommy, he's just going to execute MCK.
No, this is not the first time we've seen it from Pommy, but Aussie is going to try and respond, and he's delivering some more crisp action of his own. Gets himself 2 back-to-back one-taps. Hype now looking to make the best of this one, playing for almost a bit of a retake spot outside towards doors, but that bomb is going to be toggled. He has to face. And unfortunately, Aussie will. Pommy, he does well, gets a 3k of his own, but Aussie just one better. 2 HP though.
A little over-peaking though from CAZ. Typically the B site is one that's extremely hard to retake from the CT side, and after Pommy went down straight away, as you know, you saw uFrag take control of the site and get that bomb down. They had a 2v3. They had really no reason to expose themselves to tunnels. Just take those fights over towards doors. If you want to get aggressive, push out into mid, and then you can just, you know, bait out the last tunnels play. It's really easy to hold down to the B site, but somehow uFrag, they give it away. Obviously the bomb plant goes down, so that's going to mean they have a little bit of money left for the next round as they go into the full eco here, and they'll be going for their 3rd round buy. But a straight up B push here, right through the molly. We're going to see Dom just go executed, and the rest of the players coming into the spray down as well. MTK will get 1, goes down straight away, and Jacob, he lands another couple as well. Cray will trade things out, but it's not going to be too damaging to the economy of CAZ. They've invested in these SMGs, they're expecting to, you know, upgrade them into the next round anyway, but how is a bomb plant allowed that?
I don't know, you're going to have to help me out here, Hugo.
Triggered.
Can you... Yeah, I think triggered is probably a bit of a fair way to adjust it. I'm kind of sitting here just going, okay, how has he got away with that? Like, that spot is predictable smoke stuff. That's
yeah,
it's beautiful from him, though, right?
He made the noise as well. You should be able to pre-fire that. You know where the bomb's going to be going down. It's in that corner. So, regardless, it's not going to matter too much. In the the long-term, uFrag was still going to be buying up into this round. So they've got the money, they've got the AK, the AWP, sorry, alongside the AKs, and plenty of nades to work with as well, thanks to that second bomb plant. But CAZ, they're going into the buy of their own. The only issue is they haven't fully upgraded these SMGs. There's still 2 UMPs from the previous round. While these are obviously the best SMGs to come up against AKs, you're still going to want a full rifles. And to start it off, MCK, he's going to get tagged through the doors as well.
Not only that tag, but uFrag, they're doing something that, you know, I was talking to them yesterday about, in effect, which is us to a map where they just abuse their spawns, and they've taken that long spawn and they have ran with it, and now they're looking to hammer this one home already. But across, it is going to be held, and nice and content so far. A bit of a 1-for-1 trade. Roma going to be looking to do the work over towards the site, and so far so good with the M4, but eventually, yet again, the trades are going to be what comes up trumps for Team uFrag as they get themselves on that site. A bomb plant should be inevitable at this point, providing Pommy creeps his way through. But nonetheless, CAZ, they're on the retake, and last time it worked for them, this time it's got to be more difficult, right?
Yeah, you'd like to assume so. Obviously, a lot of tags already been coming out on the side of CAZ, so they are very low going in for this retake, but utility low on either side, which just makes things difficult for both teams here. But the boost coming up onto the site, there's going to be MCK, gets spotted from Car. Craig going to tap away, almost takes down his teammate. Jacob is the first to fall, though, pushing through the smoke. He gets dropped, and Craig will follow up with a second. Okay. MCK, he taps out, he runs away. He's going to give that one away to the uFrag side. They do finally pick up a round at least, but it is a very costly one. They lose 3 players in the process, especially considering they're up against a couple of SMGs. But CAZ, they save 1 rifle. I don't imagine they'll be force buying alongside this one. They haven't really built up a huge amount of economy, and even in their second round, they lost 2 players to SMGs or to pistols anyway. So I don't see a buy coming up into this one. It's likely just going to be the eco alongside this this one rifle. Actually, as I say that though, they've got 3 players with a lot more money than I was expecting. Yeah, okay, no, I did the maths wrong. They're fine, they're buying.
I think when you look at this one as well, it kind of plays into uFrag's hands though, right? We talked about momentum quite a lot at the start, about how it was incredibly important for them as a lineup to get that foothold and get themselves going early on. Getting that damage with those SMGs, getting that bomb plant, and now getting themselves in this position, if they can win this round, we're looking at uFrag on the T side with that start, but they have to get the frags, and they're trying to go out long again, but this time CAZ, they are looking to hold this one. They're pushing out straight through the smoke. Robo, he's going to line them up, get some stuff through Dreamy on towards Pommy. It's going to be a complete and utter bloodbath, but it's one that completely crumbles for uFrag as Adam, well, he is the savior, but even then, well, it's looking pretty bleak for him. A 1v3 does have a lot of time, but what can he do?
He has a bomb at least, so he could potentially get a plant if he can catch one of these players. The setup from CAZ is still very stagnated. They're all completely separated, meaning that trades are not looking likely in these positions. So if he hypothetically took down this one player, he could, okay, no, that's nothing, but he could have easily got that bomb down as well. So either way, CAZ, they get back right on it with their own buy. They reset the economy of uFrag, and while they hadn't really built up a lot of money anyway, it's a $1,400 loss bonus now for this T side, so they're going to be going into the pistols regardless. You can already see PT50s, a couple of smokes and flashes. That will really be it here for this these terrorists. They are still going to be on a bit of a low buy going into their weapon round, the next one.
Looking at this T-side setup though, and as much as you don't want to read into things, it is just pistols. uFrag clearly having the idea that maybe a gamble out towards this B-site is kind of the ideal platform. That late rotating from JKM was fairly risky, but him coming in may just be the one to deny this. But Dom, yet again, another nice pistol headshot on towards MCK, but they still have yet to cross. But look at Cray's position. How is he getting away with that? Takes down JKM, and they do enough to get themselves a bomb plant. And they're actually on the site.
Yeah, again, 3v3 post-plant, this could be okay for the T. The issue is these pistols are going to be greatly outweighed by the weaponry on the side of CAZ. They should be able to get these first frags in, and considering all these uFrag players are tagged up, but look at this, Pommy, he may be able to get one. He goes for the flank, taps away, he's going to miss those shots. Dreamy's on 1 HP. That is not what you want to do when you have such a crucial role there. It's all left of these 2 players back in the site. It's going to be Dom to try and find something. He gets one with a pistol. His teammate falls behind him, but he's got 2 more to deal with. Dreamy just flies in from the heavens, and he's going to finish him off with the USP as well. Just enough time for that defusal, but CAZ still very costly round considering uFrag didn't invest more than P250s there.
I think there are 2 facets to explore within that kind of, that round. You look at CAZ and go, okay, for a start, can you please just stop putting one guy on B when you know you're up against ecos? Like, yeah. This is the 2nd time in a row now they've had this problem. There's got to be that level of adaptation. We do expect smarter play and smarter calls from them. That's just a de facto standard because CAZ, they don't necessarily have the same, not necessarily excuses, but arguments that uFrag have in terms of lack of experience as a lineup. And of course, in comparison for uFrag, they're getting so much done with these pistols. Translate it to rifles, fullback, play a nice default, which is what we're seeing right now, but then have a game plan later round.
Yeah, but now we go into one of the most crucial rounds here, because this is really the lost round in terms of money. The team that loses this is going to be in such a dire economical state that they won't be able to buy up, meaning that this is a really key, impactful one for either side. They want to start getting some rounds on the board in terms of uFrag, and being able to bring it back to a 4-4 this early on would be very good for them, considering they are the underdogs in this matchup, and not on their map pick either. So while they do have obviously a lot of weaponry, they have to utilize it correctly. Going out through middle is going to be the name of the game, though. 4 or 3 players pushing out. The bomb still in tunnels. We see the spray through this one from Ozzy. He's not going to connect too much there. Pommy gets tagged, but by and large, they remain relatively unscathed as they push in through this B site. And MCK is going to be holding the front lines. 2 kills for him. Jacob follows up, peeks towards tunnels, but it's Adam to get the drop on him. And now it will be a 2v4 with Adam caught alone in the tunnels. His teammate dropped in middle by Roma, and there's going to be surely nothing he can find in the situation.
He tries, and unfortunately, well, he tried so hard, but at the end, it just doesn't even matter. Can't get too much done. And I mean, what comes to mind right now is, for a start, I'm going to be a little bit ironic, maybe a little bit almost sarcastic, but CAZ, if you just did that on eco rounds, that'd be real good. But moving away from the sarcasm, you look at their round in a nutshell, it's a solid anchor-based B-site setup. They just wait for the push. They use the information from Ozzy.
Oh my God!
What the hell, Dreamer? Hello, Pommy and Hype deleted from the map. What?
They call it suicide for a reason. Now uFrag are going to crumble, and not only in player numbers, but also in mentality. I think after that kind of start to a round, we are just going to see a bit of an execution go the way of CAZ. And what a disgusting shot down middle there from the CT side. That is not something you see very often, even with the constant suicide pushing that you see from even top teams there. So not the way you want to be heading into your eco, but then again, it was just an eco. So you can kind of write that run down. You don't have to really expect too much from it. And uFrag are now going to be on their actual buy here. as we said. So no AWP on their side this time, but they've got the rifles. They've got enough to really get themselves into this round, but it's up against 2 orbs, which makes things a little more difficult here on this T side.
Yeah, those orbs as well, just purely off the back, they can look for those picks, which is something CAZ have been doing to relative success so far. Make things just harder for uFrag, but you can't be missing those shots, Jakem. Gonna make things at least a little bit more precarious for himself. We'll walk away on 48 HP, so nothing too crazy just yet, but one...
What is this? What? How does Hype throw that? What? I don't even know.
So
what
many
to say.
questions on how does he throw that? How does he get there? Just can we get a how-to guide here, Hype? Just feel free to hit up your stream or something. Just how to push that, because that is yet again just another ridiculous.
Did he
move.
drop through CT or did he come out middle? I have no idea. That's such a weird round. But either way, a bit of confusion. Nonetheless, we are going to see a bit of a decimation once again. 2 players left on uFrag as they decide to hit him towards this B site. The orb still remains on Jakem, and he's got a bit of cross towards doors in the hands of Ozzy, who's going to push into the open, gets caught out. Jakem should be able to get one. He does. Adam will fall, but jumping right back in. I'm not too sure what he's doing. Even with the flash of his teammate, a bit unnecessary there. Just wait for your teams to rotate in, and you could potentially pick something up. But Cray, utilising the Molotov he found on the floor, he's going to hear that burn as well. So now Dreamy, his position is going to be telegraphed to the last remaining player of uFrag. But this is very, very clever. Pushing back into the tunnels. Rogue is posted up with the AK, and he's going to hit it anyway. But still, that was a nice attempt. I like what Cray had there, because alternatively, if he just went for the standard plant the bomb, you'd be fighting 2 players at once, both coming in through separate angles. But if you push aggressively back into tunnels, you either get a kill there, or get the information, or, as he did, die. But it's a worthy risk, obviously, compared to the difficulty of trying to hold onto a B site.
In fairness to him, at the end of the day, what it comes down to, the ultimate point, it was a game plan. He had a thought process and he tried to execute it. Sometimes they don't necessarily work, but that's better than nothing, right? Which, you look at the start of the rounds for uFrags, and it has been very, very shambolic. When they don't have these quick long spawns or this quick ability just to abuse mid, they struggle.
Yeah, but now with no bomb plant in that previous round, they are going to be left on just rifles with basically no utility. We've got a smoke and a flash, already a little bit of utility already being used, but this early into the round and they've got nothing to work with. So that's not going to be good at all, especially considering they're 7-1 down. We haven't really picked up on that. It's been quite fast. It seems like we've only been here a few minutes and they've already been forced down to this horrible scoreline. Because once you hit, 7-1, that's when things get scary. 5-1, you can kind of work yourself back from. It's only losing 2 by rounds, but now they've lost enough that it's starting to look pretty dire for them. So they've really got to pull out something new. They're going for a bit of a default this time, waiting for some aggression. CAZ aren't providing anything for them, so no picks are going to be found so far. But eventually they've got to realise, guys, we're running out of time. We've got to hit a site. And it seems like potentially mid may be the avenue that they want to exploit for the time being.
Now, as much as I'm a fan of this, they've got the problem of this same anchor base setup they've got on towards B. They've got that 2-man kind of almost pronging based style. They've got Ozzy over towards CT. That's a whole lot of information to be garnered for the CT side, and all that's really happening is this pushback effect. But uFrag, they've changed things up. They decided, you know what, let's group up, let's go towards short. Now this could actually work, providing they can shut down Dreamer, but where is the smoke? You're giving him free pickings, he finds the first, gets the second, now looking for a third, just waiting for the crouch to come out. Dom and Cray, they find one in return. They do steal the trades. But that's almost a bit of a minimum viable product. Dom is going to get himself the plant, looks towards CT, and he could pretty much make this one happen. Cray with another on towards Dreamer. MTK left in a 1v3. Dom's position on the side proving to be impeccable.
Yep, not good at all there for the retake for CAZ. They get caught out before they even get into position for that one. uFrag are going to be able to actually get themselves back on the board with 2 rounds, but still, the CAZ economy is looking pretty good for the time being. 5 in a row is going to have its wonders. They have a full buy coming up, however, this will be their last, assuming they lose this one. So 1 AWP, 4 M4s. It's going to be a decent buy for them across the board. No mid picks coming out either way, so we're not going to see a double suicide rush, at least from uFrag. They've learned from their mistakes, but still, the issue is here. We can't see this reset from uFrag. We can't see them lose this round. Otherwise, it is going to be the $1,400 loss bonus once again, but oh no, that's not good.
Well, that is complacency at its finest, but Ozzy is going to trade it straight back, so this aggression is actually better reward, and now he's looking for a second. He gets it on towards Dom. Free roam, and Adam, well, he's in a nice spot. He's trying to find that trade pick, but there's just not enough room. There's not enough angle left in that spot for him to be able to actually secure that, which means CAZ, they walk away with that advantage. Now they're just going to sit back on their sights, and providing they do follow through, they just shouldn't peek. They should just sit and wait.
Yeah, that's kind of how you really play this in this situation. They haven't obviously got any ability to trade, which makes it very, very difficult in terms of getting aggressive, so you'd expect them to hold back. But Jakem giving away his position, maybe there's Molotov bouncing off the other side of the wall, meaning he has to be on that left side as you exit the tunnels. I'm not sure if they're going to look too deep into it, but Pommy seems to have a bit of an inkling as to whereabouts Jakem's position. The Molotov goes out, it doesn't do anything, so now he's going to know he's close, and he actually does check it as well, looks away, but he still gets a kill regardless. Dreamy trades, but Adam's going to drop him back to the dirt, so now it is a 2v2 with the rotations fast in. But look at this, I love this play by CAZ. They're pushing 2 players into tunnels really, really fast, and while they won't catch out any kind of bomb plant, they're still going to be in a great position to retake this site. But still, uFrag have this one player in mid, that's CAZ, so now they know that CAZ must be retaken through tunnel.
Yeah, they have pretty much all the information they can possibly work with, and this AWP Adam is going to be pivotal. The smoke is going to go down. He's looking with the scope, but he misses the shot. He gives it towards Aussie Cray now. The last man remaining finds the first, looking for the second, brings it to that ever so daunting 1 versus 1. Throws out a nade. It's going to almost bounce off around the place. Almost a bit of panic beginning to kick on in as Roma. Going to peek around the box. Toggles the defuse, now looking just dead set up into the air. Cray, he's being safe about this. He peeks. But it's just going to be another headshot on Clever. Well, it certainly is one way to sum it up, and I think very deserving.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, we've reached this horrible situation for uFrag where their economy just gets forced back down into the ground. At least the bomb plant is going to alleviate some pressure for them, so they can get together a bit of a buy, but you can just already see it's not a perfect one by any means. They've got 2 pistols, they've got like a Lil, an AWP is going to be brought up, but that's glass cannon and an AK to follow on Pommy. So definitely not what you're really going to write home with, but it's going to be enough to get something done if they can find themselves some picks and maybe grab some early rifles from any CTs. And Cray, he's actually utilising the Tech 9 to its best of its ability, pushing very fast up towards long here. He's going to spot out that first player. Dom will actually land one as well. What is happening? CAZ has thrown away 2 kills already. Dreamy trades, but it's still going to be aggression from Cray to catch out another. It's a 2 versus 4, and CAZ, they've dwindled. uFrag are going to have control of the A site once again.
CAZ, they find themselves consistently making mistakes when they're up against these kind of light weaponry. Jacob finds himself that shot on towards right, very snapping. But even then, there's only so much crackling that you can find, and well, is it even going to be enough? It's a 2v3. They're retaking from short. The Molotov's going to be burning away. They're having to go hard and fast. Unfortunately, well, it's going to be a bit of a tough one. MCK going to try and be the man to do it in a bit of a solo axe, but I'm just not seeing this. They're both over towards long. The smoke is going to go down, and that does aid, but this crossfire, it should just be simple for uFrag. They've got 2 AWPs. Yeah,
MCK has picked up a kit at least to work with, and the flash is going to be thrown out. However, not connecting very well. Regardless, Adam's hitting the shot right before he gets on that defuse. So uFrag actually picking it up with that force buy. If they didn't get the bomb plant in the previous round, that would have been a very different situation. But now we see the tides have turned. CAZ, they're on an eco of their own. They're on to just pistols here. I wouldn't like to see them forced despite a very good scoreline for the time being. And they are just going to play things safe. A couple of PT50s, that's it. And I'd like to see something maybe a little bit spicy here. Some aggression, something to switch things up that we haven't really seen, as they can, they can kind of throw away this round without really too many expectations.
So it would be nice to see something a bit more creative, perhaps. It is going to be Dom to open that first pick on towards Roma. And I've got to say, to just be at this standpoint when we're looking at CAZ on low money in comparison to uFrag, it is a bit ridiculous. It's got to fill out, because for uFrag, this entire game has been set on this pedestal of they need momentum. It's great. Is going to be able to catch off Aussie, and bit by bit they're keeping this one nice and clean, so really not too much to say aside from to go back to that point about momentum. It's been a constant double-edged sword for them. The minute we even try and kind of allude to it, they constantly find themselves getting shut down, but at the end of the day, it's 8-3, we're in our 12th round. They're going to take this one more than likely, unless JKM and MCK can go huge, and with that said, we are looking at a doable 9-6 perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, a dire start turning into something a little more successful for uFrag. If they can continue that, as you said, it could be at 9-6, but it's all going to come down to those key rounds, as CAZ will be going into a buy shortly, so that's going to at least give them something to work with. However, with their economy in a bit of a state for the time being, I'm not sure if it's going to be a full double eco here, because it seems like maybe they can invest a little bit more into the second round. And yeah, no, it will be a double eco, because you can see their money. They're only going to get 1900 after this. They won't be on even more than 4k, which is just definitely not enough to go for a buy. You need at least kind of 4200 to get the bare bones of a buy. If you want to buy head armor with an M4, that's all your money spent. Or if you want to buy body armor, you can get smoked with it. But yeah, they don't have enough for this one. They're going to have to double eco. This time at least they can invest a little bit more, because they're going to have a larger loss bonus now coming up in the upcoming round. So you can see they've already got about 4k between. Oh no, I'm not sure if I like this. They're going to have a lot of UMPs and FAMASs. Yeah, no, I'm not sure if I like this. Look at the utility left on them.
It's times like this where I'm just looking at the camera and hoping that they just have like a little hotbox in the corner, and all you've got pretty much is us just kind of shaking our heads, just going, just why? Like, what is the net gain from this? This is an incredible risk, and they have this lead, right? They could have allowed uFrag to get to 5 and from there actually made something work, but this is just rough. And well, in fairness to MCK, they go aggressive, finds himself one. Gets caught in a bit of a hilarious gun battle, but it is a trade.
But where was JKM during that situation? He was peeking, taking the fight. JKM's just sitting back like, oh yeah, you do your own thing. I'm not going to bother trading. And now we're back into a 4-on-4, which is going to favour the terrorists. And once again, Adam, he's cleaning up another player down on B. This is CAZ falling, and this is just showing what confidence can do to you. It does have its negatives. You are going to see this aggression from the CT side. And what was a really passive start that worked out in the favour of 7-1 has now suddenly turned back around. And uFrag, they're getting their foot in the door. They're going to be heading towards B here, I can only expect. CAZ at least have rotated 2 players back, but uFrag going to be a little more wary of this one. They rotate the bomb back in towards middle, and now they start to hit short. We have one player outside long. That's Cray. He can split in through the long doors, or these other players cross up, but already CAZ have realised this. However, even though they do rotate, the CT's not a brilliant position to be trying to retake the A site from, and they're not even going to be able to get back onto the site as Roma. He does only find one before he falls. Dreamy as well goes down, and it's all on Aussie.
It's almost an impossible predicament for him to try and work with a 1v3 backed up by the non-existent utility in his hands. Pushing him from CT, he will find a first on towards Adam, but 2 more to find, and tries to jump out, looking for some information, trying to just garner something to aid him, and this crossfire from long and over towards those boxes, it is going to be fatal.
Yeah.
Just searching for something, just looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, but unfortunately for Aussie, it's going to be a tough one no matter what. Just turns around, goes to the 180s. But nothing is going to connect. I
don't even blame him for going for that one as difficult as it was, because he knows if he loses that round, now they're going to be on another eco. The thing is, if CAZ just double eco, they get their buy on the 3rd round. Now is where we go into the 3rd round, and they are going to be on their eco. So this is just terrible for them. They really had no need to buy up in the previous round, especially with the aggression over towards tunnels. I really did not like it early on from CAZ, and that will be the deficit that they are facing here. You can already see MZK once again. He's going to be the man to be tagged up. They have a couple of BT50s, a couple of Deagles as well, but nothing to really pull out any of these uFrag players. And you can see the complete change of pace in uFrag. Look at their stature now. They're far more passive. They're waiting for this aggression. They know what they're up against, and they've got a little more confidence now, which is what I like to see. They haven't completely thrown this one away after starting off pretty terribly. And looking like a 9-6 or maybe even a 7-8 is looming over their heads.
It's worrying when you word it like that, but it's not over just yet, as MCK is going to try doing some damage here and there. And well, does so on towards Dom at least, but one that's easily going to be traded back by Cray. And you talk about that 9-6, it is just so disappointing to go back to that force, because CAZ, they could have ended this one on at max a 10-5 and close it out in that sort of fashion. But now they've opened up that kind of possibility. Jacob going to hold tight, but he's so blind that, oh, he can't see a thing.
No, Roma though, he's going to at least get himself an AK to work with. I'd like to see him save in this situation. Unless Dreamy gets a quick kill, which he won't. Now Roma should either just sit in pit and just go for headshots or just save. There's no reason to just push up long here, exposing your whole body when you don't have any body armor. Still, he's going to get himself 1 kill. I mean, they will be buying up pretty lucratively in the next round anyway, so it's understandable, but it would at least allow him to have a few more names in the next. But regardless, Cray's going to finish it off. It's, it's a potato, because they're going to have a buy regardless. So full M4s, AWP up on Dreamy. He hasn't got any armor, so that's, for example, where the AK could have been saved, so they could at least get him the AWP with the armor, throwing someone else a gun, etc. But this is interesting for uFrag. Double AWP on the T side, a real change.
Double AWP has been something we've seen them really use to success in the past on maps such as Train, and albeit it does do a bit of a different layout, things like that. However, there is still that opportunity just to prime open, get those picks, and a tag on towards Dream. Well, no better way to start.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the double AWP T side on most maps. I think this is one of the few maps it does work on to an extent, but still, when when it ain't broke, don't need to fix it. They could have just stuck with the AKs. However, this will go in their way very easily regardless. 2 entries onto the B side again. CAZ, very, very weak on this one so far. It was looking strong earlier on, but it's completely changed now, and it is just going to be the retake once again. I think a full save is going to be good. I don't expect to see a 5v3 out of even the top teams. Why would we see it out of these guys? It's going to be very, very difficult. However, they are going to attempt it at least. Cray's going to burn himself, so 1G's up in chat. Not a good start for uFrag, but still, they have the man advantage. They have all this utility, and you look at how much they have left as well. They haven't even expended all of it. That's going to be another kill. Them May just dunking on Dreamy, and these last 2 players push back to the side to try and make something work. It's going to be unsuccessful. Oh, I just said that they need to save, but I completely forgot we're on the last round of the half, so I mean, UK caster here.
At the end of the day, it comes back down to that point of this did not need to get this far. CAZ, they could have stemmed this wound. I don't want to be harsh to uFrag, because I think, they have been tremendous at getting themselves going, and we need to talk about comfort, because once they actually got themselves settled down, they got in their groove, they were able to string a very solid amount together. But there is that comparison of CAZ. They had everything playing into their side, and they did let it slip away of just a couple of dodgy decisions. Yeah, that seems to be the case. But we go into the second pistol round here. So let's see if uFrag can continue this hot streak. We have aggression up short. This time from Pommy. He's going to be able to wield a bit of success. That's 3 kills just straight off the bat. And while a refrag will come out, it's still going to be CAZ to crumble in this one. It's all on Jacob in lower tunnel. USP retreats as he finds a kill onto Adam, but it's going to just be most likely the round for uFrag unless he can make something magical work. The bomb is dropped in the hands of these CTs. Oh, look at this bait from Dom. He's just sitting towards the back of the site. If he peeks at the right time, he could catch up Jacob. However, on the other hand, oh, okay, doesn't matter. Jacob's going to shoot him in the face, but still, he's got 2 more players to deal with. Just Jacob things is all that's left to be said at this point, as we are just going to be looking at him worming his way in through those tunnels, eventually going to X out over towards that T-spawn. does have a lot of time to work with now. That is a merit in itself, and you have to bear in mind, this is a 1v2, so this is a doable spot, but that bomb position will make things a little bit more complex as he tries to approach it with some one-taps down through suicide, but it's not really going to bear too many rewards, and that alone gives away his position. uFrag now know how to hold this one off, but they get themselves bent around these curves. But Cray still going to find it nonetheless, and well, let's just talk about Pommy.
Yeah, what a massive round for him. We saw CAZ do the exact same thing on their CT pistol, pushing up short, but Pommy makes it a little bit better for their side. So that is going to be something really, really, important for uFrag in terms of getting them the second pistol round, and now getting them on the upside to win this map as well. Although it's not truly over, CAZ still have their basically whole T side to go. It's still looking dangerous in the fact that uFrag are now going to be likely taking the lead here with a possible 10 to 8 up their sleeve. But let's see how it goes. CAZ are playing very aggressive short play. They've got the Tech 9s. These are going to be great for the close ranges. And Adam's going to fall straight away. But can they follow up against these SMGs and the Thanos?
Be a quick and bewildering push. It is going to lead to at least one coming in from the CT side, but it's not going to be enough. That push, well, that does some pretty damn sweet rewards. Molotov is going to go down looking to force them off the site, but just look at the HP. Hype on 4. Dom, yes, he's intact on 100, but you're asking one man to act in a power of 3. However, he is going to at least find the first. Hype is going to fall punished by that Tech 9. A 1v2, yet again another situation that is on the cards, but the shots they have to land, and War with the Deagle, not quite a pretty picture, and at this point, well, all he's got to do is run.
He's already realised that the CAZ just have no reason to peek. The bomb's down on the site. The time is already about 25 seconds left. Dom just has to rush right in or go for the full commitment to the save, and he will do exactly that. Because CAZ, they could just play a bait play. One player in CT, one player on site. Ramp, Goose. There's so many crossfires you can do. You can even push player deep towards long as well, and that would distract you for long enough. Considering Dom didn't even have a kit to work with, so CAZ actually got to pick up that force buy. Not the rarest thing to happen. Dust to a map where you don't typically see these pistol buys work out as often as maybe Cash, for example, or maybe Nuke, but still, either way, it's going to benefit them. They are going to be able to buy up. uFrag are likely to force up with this one, but apparently not. They're just going to stick with what they've got. Obviously, the saved weapon on Dom and a couple of pistols are better as well, but no armor to support that. That's safe. I understand it. It means they can buy up sooner rather than later. A bit of utility as well, but they've stacked long, and CAZ are about to walk right into it.
Well, they're going to be looking to make some money. Finds the first, snaps on towards the second. MCK straight through the smoke on towards Adam, and one by one, the tally of deaths, they add up to a pretty solid number. It's just going to be Dom and Max left remaining. And even then, a Mac 10 just going to make even more money, leaving just Dom now with that UMP. He's next in line on the chopping block. And in terms of saving, just an interesting point to splice on in is the fact that uFrag as a team, well, Adam as a leader, he's known for saving. That's his trademark. He saves 24/7. We rarely see a force-up coming from him, and when we do, you tend to know things are pretty serious.
Yeah, but they're going into their buy now. They've got all the rifles here, so something at least on the plus side. But CAZ, they kept an SMG, they kept the Thanos. Not the worst weaponry to work with, but still, let's see how it bears out. They are going to go once again for this fast long control. This time up against a little more weaponry than usual, and a triple stack from uFrag as well. They've got a bit more short controls. Cray gets aggressive, trying to spot out, and CAZ players trying to split onto this site, but instead, with all this aggression towards long, this could be really interesting. If uFrag commit to this, and if they get really ballsy and push down into middle, they could flank out this long play, but apparently they're just going to play safe, which I do understand here, because I would criticise it if they pushed and then died, but, double standards either way. But CAZ, they're just holding out for long for the time being. They're waiting for uFrag to make the next play, or if that doesn't happen in the next few seconds, they will be smoking their way into CT and making their cross.
uFrag just going to be sitting around through that smoke. That cross is going to begin, and it's going to be a pretty momentous one at that. But what can hold them back? What is going to be those breaks on this train? Is this going to be Adam to find it first? So this one is by no means clear cut as the bomb is going down, but the Seeds, they aren't quite peaking. Cray really the only one to swing on out, tries to punish Aussie, and will at least make that one happen. But just look at this CT side. They're sitting tight. They're not facing. They're waiting for the rest of the team from CT. Smart stuff.
There's so many players left to retake as well. It's going to be so difficult to hold all these angles. And they will just be pushing twofold. Dom's going to be taken down one Dreamy dropped, and just as I say it, everyone else just gets completely eliminated. It's CAZ to fall in this one. uFrag pick up their 9th round. And while a lot of the players are tagged up here on the CT side, they are going to just make it out by the skin of their teeth. So that will be 9 rounds secured here for the CT side. It's looking very back and forth. We came into this matchup, at least you were saying, and I was agreeing, that this was likely going to be a 2-0. Not so much a stomp, but a very clear-cut match for CAZ. And apparently this is not turning out to be the case, especially on their own map pick. They seem to be having a few struggles of their own.
Yeah, what's resonating with me right now is the closing out ability for uFrag, because as much as they're not ahead, they have had a lot of 16-14s throughout the UK Masters, which means that you do have to look towards, okay, can they actually make this happen? Can they succeed their limits? And a big way of doing that is to pick up this next round, which is pretty damn important, because not only for them it levels that scoreline, but the economics in play behind it. also pretty key.
Let's see what they can do with this one, though. Obviously, both teams are a fairly considerable buy. There's no team really too weak here, and the utility is going to be at least okay to hold off and both attack each site. So CAZ going to be setting up towards short. They have a bit of a default setup, tunnels, long control, waiting for any aggression from uFrag. But I like how safe uFrag are playing this. This is similar, at least, to how CAZ were playing it on the first half. While they were doing well before they got too big for their boots, and it was wielded a lot of success. So maybe it will work on the flip side as well. So finally, CAZ are going to put a bit of aggression and send most of their troops up towards this middle area on short. They have the bomb as well, and I'm not sure with this one. Putting 5 players up towards short isn't really a done strategy. You'd like to have at least one player splitting, or even a player in lower tunnel just catching out rotations from CTs who try and push back up that Xbox. But at least it has a few more players to trade with. But now the push is going to come through. CAZ very aggressive up towards this short area. uFrag are just going to give away the site. They back off, they throw the towel, and they are just going to allow them to get this bomb plant. So it's going to be a 5-on-5 retake here.
The lack of control of CAZ over towards long, though, is going to be very, very daunting. You just look at these positions. uFrag, they have them well and truly smothered. It comes down to CAZ having to almost retake through short now to give themselves that vector of attack. And in the meanwhile, they're going to be pushed in from behind as Cray already beginning to make those ever so important steps. We are going to see a bit of a CT drop come into place. Cray going to find one. Aussie going to respond. MCK heading on towards Pommy, but Cray and Hype, they will combine. But Jacob and Roma, yet again, they're going to up the ante, leaving Hype now. The man towards CT, the man we hyped up.
Oh.
Well, he's going to be ended yet again by Jacob.
Fairly easy stuff there for CAZ. They actually make it work with 2 players left, and uFrag, their money, it's not good. I almost expect to see a pause at this point, but I really wouldn't agree with it. They've got 2 players on good enough money to buy, but the rest of them not looking good at all. They can invest a little bit. Yeah, you can pull out a scout, deagle armor. You have that money to go for a light investment, but the rest of the players are going to mainly go on this eco here. So bit of a fast control from Romu, pushes out long. He's going to be able to catch out Pommy as well. So this is likely going to be a bit of a spray down, I can only imagine, as we can see on our screens. It's just going to be 1 kill found from Cray with a deagle, but that will probably be it. Despite Dom having a scout, they should be able to take him down here in CT.
Yeah, should be a fairly simple task. Unfortunately, we've had to witness a bit of a bloodbath, not quite PG-13, not quite what we were hoping to see, right? Because unfortunately it is, well, brutality at its finest. Hopefully we can see a little bit of role reversal at least, and Dom, he's going to live up to the hype somewhat with this scout, going for even just a little bit more to his plate as he just spams through that smoke, but it's going to be a bit tough. They know he's there. Tunnel visioned in towards the CT spot, upgrades to a rifle now. That smoke, he can run to the hills. This is actually a net game for him.
Yeah, so save at least coming out one positive thing for him alongside a kill, but CAZ, they are going to be chasing this. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. He doesn't have a kit, so I don't imagine he'll be going for this, but at least he can cross back to the site. But this is still quite scary. Roma's going to at least realise, pushing back into the site, spots him out, gets a kill as well. That could have been really dangerous. If Dom was a little bit faster, he had a kit and a bit of utility yet. Could have definitely been an ninja defuse, but CAZ not giving it away completely. We are going to see a little more money on the side of uFrag than I don't know. I think they could have bought up into this one. They had a little more than obviously some of the buys we've seen earlier, but obviously not fully enough. And they're playing it safe in terms of going for these pistols, but honestly, maybe that could have been throwing away a rifle round for them.
Never so, and it is certainly living up to the uFrag brand. However, they do tend to be that team, as I mentioned before, just always saving. And right now, it's yet again just going to repeat the phrase of a double-edged sword, something that is going to haunt them consistently, but at the same time, perhaps almost a bit of a benefactor depending on how they can turn things around in the future. Looking at the present, I don't think it's too pretty of a picture, but they do have the Kevlar behind the pistols. We have seen the pistols on the CAZ side of things have relative success, and uFrag on their T side, they were able to tap head simply put, so there is that seed of doubt.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe, honestly, they could make this work with the pistols. It's not out of the question by any means, but they've got to kick it off to a good start, and that is not going to be the start they're looking for. Jacob with 2. We do see a bit of aggression from short from Cray, but he's only going to allow 1 for his double. Tries to peek out again, but Dreamy's going to be expecting the angle, takes him down, and now 2 players remain from uFrag, trying to hurriedly get back into this site, but they're just too little too late. CAZ have got control, the bomb will be planted as well, and a 4v2 is likely going to be ending in a 4v0 as CAZ. They are going to be securing their 13th round on the board, and uFrag, going into their buy, I will admit it will be a very, very expensive one as well. They're going to have a lot of money to work with, but still, it's not always money that wields success. They have to get those kills.
Talking about getting those kills, I'm generally curious. You know, we've watched a good chunk of rounds, and what do you think has worked for uFrag, and what do you think they actually should be doing now going to this bias? Because we've kind of repeated the same points quite a lot in the first half about having a game plan in the second half. It doesn't feel at all that clear.
I mean, honestly, you say, you know, what's worked for uFrag, and while I was kind of singing their praises in the first half, we look into the CT half, they've had 2 rounds. you can't really say too much has worked for them. They picked up the pistol and they've taken a buy round. That is literally it.
Well, and you look at the way they picked up the pistol, arguably an individual play.
Yeah, and again, you can't resort to individual plays every single time to win rounds. You need to have that team factor. You can't just have one player stepping up. I mean, we've seen Zantares, for example, just picking a random name up who's a star player for his team, and you know that can wield some success in the short term. But you can't just have Pommy getting a triple kill on the pistol to secure you every single round. It's not going to work. But yeah, uFrag, they picked up 2 rounds. They've even lost the second round to a force buy. So far, I wouldn't even say too much has gone well for them on the CT half.
If anything at all, and so far they go for a bit of an aggressive short base hold. They don't get themselves the pick off the back of Adam, just not quite landing the shot, and eventually they get punished. CAZ, they go on the counter-aggressive front. They take down Pommy, and from there, it gives them that ability to go, okay, you know what, we're confident. Let's push up through short. Let's get ourselves some sort of control, and this is almost them kind of just teetering on the edge. They're not quite making the jump, but they're making uFrag kind of go, okay, well, they could do this. This is something that can potentially happen, which means we're starting to see the concern over towards that B site. They don't quite know, okay, should I sit between doors? Should I start heading towards mid? CAZ, if they change things up, no matter even if they just push short or do whatever, this could be beautiful either way, and they are just going to push on through, drop down into CT, will take plays. Adam going to miss just another shot with the AWP, and, well, that is one of those ones that you really have just got to hit. Prey over towards long is going to at least find himself one, but, well, this is going to be enough. A retake back on the table.
You're really going to win those. uFrag, they've thrown it away. That was all down off the back of Adam missing that key shot. Obviously, the pressure getting to him now, and while we will see Dom at least make a bit of impact on the economy of CAZ, it's still going to be 2 players remaining and enough Molotovs to hold him off for the remaining of the round time. So Dom will be, once again, as we have deja vu here, saving into this 2v1. But honestly, if Adam hit that shot, he could have rebeat back up to ramp. He could have followed up with a second kill, equalized it. Even after he goes down, that's going to be a 3v3. So uFrag, they really did have good prospects into that push on the site, despite only having 1 player to defend. But a key shot and, may I say, a rather easy shot, kind of fluked there by Adam. That will cost them the round, and maybe even the map here as CAZ. They're going to round up to 14.
Unfortunately, if I'm honest as well, you talk about, you know, those simple shots. It has been a bit of an occurrence, to be honest. You know, no disrespect at all to Adam, but he's just not necessarily been hitting the shots with the AWP in this matchup. He's had a couple of nice, you know, flare-based ones here and there, but that doesn't tot up to actually having an impact with the AWP. No,
he's down 9 in 18 right now alongside Hype. Not a great score considering Craig, if you look at him specifically, he's 25 and 15. He's doing very well, whereas having a little bit more of the anchors of the team, you know, this is typical. I don't think you go a game ever where you see everyone doing consistently well on an equal scoreline or a losing scoreline. You're going to have outstanding players going above and beyond, whereas some players are lacking a little bit behind, so it is to be expected. But to have it on your AWPer as well, that's not really the kind of player you want to have underperforming. Yeah, on Dust too. It's not the kind of player you're going to want to have underperforming, considering they're already, you know, almost at the bottom of the standings of the UK Masters so far, so not great for them. But regardless, they're going to be calling out pause. I think a little bit too late here. Obviously, it is 14 tonight. It's getting very, very close to CAZ to just pick up the map. They only really need 1 more round, because if you look into uFrag investing into this one, say they lose this, that's going to be 15 to 9, and then uFrag are going to have no money. So it's likely going to just be a closeout from CAZ.
It's a shame though, right? I think I do want to look at this with the positive light on towards uFrag and go, okay, there is that genuine potential for them to actually have, you know, done something in this matchup. They showed they had the ability, and then within just a couple of rounds here and there, well, it all turned to a bit of a crumbling mess. And well, now we are back into things, so we can see the conclusion to this. 24th round at that.
Yeah, and if we could get X-Ray back, that'd be lovely.
Casual prod.
So we can see at least where everyone is. It makes it a lot harder. You don't realise till you're actually doing it. No X-ray is going to make the cast very difficult. Thank you. That's good. Regardless, the last-ditch effort for uFrag and CAZ, they're going to be setting up for something they haven't really tried so much. They're heading towards B with all 5 players, not even a mid-split. Hype is going to have to go pretty huge here, considering he is alone on the site, and he's waiting for the first peek. The flash is going to go out. He will get himself 1 kill, tries to follow up. Bit of damage, but that's going to be him going down. A 1-for-1 going to favour these terrorists, but Dom flashes himself back in. Nice work there. He gets one, and he backs out safely. That's important. He needs to stay alive, allow his teammates to be in this man advantage situation for the retake, and Adam, he's going to double down as well. Takes down Aussie, and now CAZ, well, they will get the spawn plant at least in their favour, but it's going to be a man advantage. Double down here for uFrag as they come in for the retake.
Hit if towards tunnels, is just missing the shots, almost going for a bit of a collateral there, just tapping away with a deagle. Pommy, he's going to get knocked down to just 13 HP, but it leaves Jacob nonetheless in yet again a bit of a spot, and he's just going to be ended quick and decisively by Dom. And well, we talked about uFrag, we talked about there being that light. Well, hey, they bring it back at least 1 more time, but is it a fading candle? Be honest with me here. Do you see a chance for them?
This is what I call consolation rounds. I mean, they picked up 3 this half so far. Yeah, they can get some rounds, but look at the money on CAZ. They're going to have to win 2 more in a row, really, too. Or, no, actually, they could just pick up this one and force them into eco. But by and large, I mean, 14 to 10. It's not looking bright for uFrag, despite the more close scoreline, but again, these rounds were all picked up in the first half, and it's not carrying over too well. However, I feel like if they pick up this buy round, things could turn on their heads a little bit. They could bring this one, but it's all going to be down to this buy round before I make any early assumptions. However, I do still feel like this map is residing heavily in the favour of CAZ, and again, uFrag kind of coming down to that individual performance in the previous round, picking up Dom, getting those 2 kills was pretty important, but at least they do kick it off on the right foot. Adam's going to be utilising that AWP that we kind of mentioned he wasn't performing too well with. He's finally going to start things off and take down RZ.
Oh, the best way to wake up as a team and make that comeback happen is to hit those shots, and we'll find the first. It's a bit of a +1 to that scenario, but even then, they have to take it one step further. Trading right now it's good. They have to keep it up. They actually have to be able to close out these rounds, and we are already going to see just a quick and a very beautiful shot, almost artistic, coming out from Dream there. Finds one of his own back in return on towards Dom, and you look at this T side right now. Look at the way they're setting up. It's that same sort of style of, you know what, we don't know where we're going yet. We have a lot of ideas, but they're going to make uFrag think, okay, well, they could go anywhere, so we have to spread ourselves quite thin, and Cray, well, at least going to be able to punish Dakin for it.
Look at Pommy's aggression though, he's pushed up all the way towards the top of mid out through long, so he's getting a lot of information from this. He can spot if there are any players towards short, and he knows there's no one there, at least if he commits to the angle, but they haven't fully realised this is a B take. However, the flash of the smoke's going to give that one away. Adam catching out one through the edge of the smoke, MCK will be dropped, Roma elevated position, catching another, but Hype does trade things out through the doors, and now it's all going to be on Dream. He has 30 seconds left, he does have the bomb control at least, but there's so many CTs pushing themselves back into the site. He still thinks there's someone here, and he's going to be clearing out all these angles, not expecting Hype to come from the position that he is. And finally, bomb going to be committed, very important. You want this money for the loss bonus to be combined. Obviously, you have a little more to go for the buy in the next round. He will throw up on Molotov to at least deny a bit of a push to the door. So that's one of the 3 angles going to be cancelled out. But he has so many players pushing, there's just nothing he can do. Hype, bit of BM, but he clears it up. It will be 11 rounds for uFrag, and now the money on CAZ. Well, that's going to be interesting to have a look at.
Yeah, this is yet again that role reversal. The minute we talk about conclusion, we talk about consolation rounds, we are starting to see a string. We're starting to see something form together. And you talk about economy, you were right with your original impressions. It's going to take more than just 1 or 2 for them to really hammer down through CAZ. But 14-11, we are beginning to get there. However, yet again, it's CAZ, a team who can just pick things up. If they just, one of their players go huge right now, if we see Roma just tap on away with this rifle, they get to 15, and from there, well,
yeah, there's a game. As soon as uFrag start losing rounds, that's when their economy just goes to the dirt, and they're going to not only lose money, but also confidence. At least they have a bit of a bank built up, so uFrag are going to be able to buy up if they lose this one, but still, at the end of the day, CAZ are ever so close to this impending doom here on the side of uFrag. However, again, as soon as uFrag falls CAZ to an eco, that's where things get more difficult. So we may potentially see that come into a more close scoreline. You know, this is still fairly contestable either way, so I'm not going to count out uFrag by any means, but again, I'm just echoing like a broken record. CAZ really are leading this one to a heavy extent in terms of actual rounds gained on this half.
Yeah, we certainly have written a very extensive narrative on what could happen, what we think is going to take place, and thrown in a whole bunch of opinions too, and by all means I am in full agreement. But let's look at what's actually going to happen now, as we are well and truly in the present at 55 seconds, a clock that is going to keep on ticking, and it's going to stop for no man at all. Which means that CAZ, they do have to begin to get a move on. We are looking at a bit of repetition. They're grouping up back towards short.
Yeah, I like this. Very, very fast at least. They have one player pushing out a mid to create a distraction for a bit of a mid to B, so these speed players don't rotate too early, but now it's all going to be given away. You can already see Hype and Cray combining. 2 kills for Hype, 1 for Cray. He's going to try and get a double as well, but Hype will turn it into 3. And just to pick up on what happened that round, that was quite interesting to see the reaction from uFrag. And CAZ have obviously been repeating strategy, so they set up for that short take. They pushed all their players up, and typically you'd see, obviously, sorry, just clarify, they threw down the mid to B. So to give a bit of an impression it was a mid to B, it's not a long-lasting statement, but at least uFrag for the time being, for a few more seconds, is going to be delayed on that rotation, so they realise, oh wait, it's not a B take, it's a short take. But because they've done that one before, and they pushed one player out of mid, straight off the bat, we saw this mid to B smoke come down. Cray throws a Molotov towards short, just in case it is that fake on mid, and they are actually hitting short. And that just shows, when you repeat the same strategy multiple times, the CTs are going to adapt, they're going to be more aware of it, and that's why uFrag won the round, because Cray was aware that this was going to be a short take, despite them throwing down that mid to B smoke, which will give a completely different impression otherwise. And as I said, the eco coming in, uFrag cleaning up, and now CAZ, they're back down to what may even be their last chance to finally close it out with 15 rounds or 16 rounds here on this T side.
Well, certainly it'd be interesting for me is if we get to that 16-14 market, just because of how predominant that has been for uFrag. Of course, in terms of what we expect to see from the T side, well, we don't need to expect anything. We already know they're giving us some pretty strong hints at this point as they barrage their way out through long. It's going to be a 4-man based attack. They've got a lurker over towards tunnels. Now, for me, it is a lot of pressure on towards Roma, because if he can actually succeed in this spot, punish on towards Dom, maybe even try and bait out a bit of response from Pommy, he drags the eyes away from that short spot, from that long spot, and actually makes things a little bit more workable for the rest of his team.
Yeah, let's see how this one goes. Again, so much pressure on CAZ, and I mean, just have a quick look at the scoreboard, see how many rounds uFrag picked up in a row. No, that's 4. That's quite bad for CAZ. You typically only like to see 3 before eventually the teams come back in with a reset, considering this map is supposed to be a very equal map, but not turning out in their favour. However, the time is ticking down. I'm not too sure what the point of this is, if they're just holding to see if uFrag are going to repick long, or if they're trying to at least come up with a decision on how they want to play this. Either way, they're wasting valuable time, and eventually, as it gets down to 50 seconds, they are going to find a hit towards long, but this is going to be telegraphed instantly to the uFrag side. They are going to be fully aware of this one. The CAZ giving away the position, pushing very, very fast up to this side. We're going to see Jacob spot out that first play, and Pommy doesn't get shot, but Prey will, in fact, pushing out through the smoke. Adam trades, and Dom will follow up, but Adam and Pommy both going to be dropped now. CAZ, finally, they are going to be making a statement. They have a 3v2 in their hands, and they are going to be getting the bomb down as well, so uFrag in for this retake.
Trade definitely about to sum up that scenario. Dom with a very nice shot on towards Dream, leaves us back at this pitted 2v2. Some very strong players all across the board, but they have to step up to the plate now. This is prime time for uFrag, and already hype. He is going to be ended. And leaves us back towards Dom now. Yet again, just another solid player, but he's in for short. They know his position. They're just going to hold the angles, and well, the best he can do there is try and pitch a tent, just kind of try and peek around a bit, look out into the bushes, but the wilderness, it's harsh, it's brutal. And right now, CAZ, well, they own the place, 15-13.
Yeah, not good at all for uFrag. They had such a nice streak coming back into this, and while it isn't being completely thwarted just yet, as they can still go for their buy, it's just 1 round away from that having been done. uFrag need 2 more to get themselves into overtime, but CAZ, they've got that confidence. They're going to be going for a very fast take. No warp in their hands this time, just pure rifles. They're going to be rushing up long. Pommy, he's going to be the first to fall. We have to see a rebuttal here from Cray. If he doesn't find himself one, this is going to be very, very dire here, and even so, if he only finds one, it could be even worse. So Jacob pushing out, going to catch him out there through the smoke, even though he's blinded. He finds himself Cray, but Hype does trade things out. It's going to be the control over to the A side for Dream. He's going to make a mastery of the uFrag players here. Again, cleaned up by MCK. It will be CAZ to pick up that first map, and what a decimation on that final round. That's a show what eventually, after losing so many rounds in a row, the mental game that comes back after winning was. CAZ are going to get themselves to 15, and then boom, straight away, back up to 16. That will be the first map concluded.